Welcome back, everyone. My name is Ember, and Volume 41. I don't know if it shows up on camera or not, but I've been, like, crying for the past 4 chapters, so... Anyway, this, One Piece covers chapters 389 to 399. So this starts with right after Luffy beating Mr. Blueno, goes all the way up through Frankie destroying the blueprints and the sea train crashing towards the Tower of Law. I get it now. I get the hype for Enies Lobby now. Where the fuck do I start with this? I guess we'll hit the Robin stuff last, even though that's going to be most of it. It's like, this was a very, very hefty flashback. Like, it goes from... Let me just hold up how big this fucking flashback is. Like, this is the majority of the volume. Like, it's that much of the volume. So, that's well more than half. That was a... I realize now... Some people have considered this cheating in the past. I don't. But One Piece really relies very heavily on its flashbacks to really nail those emotional moments. Mostly because the flashbacks are usually tragedies, but they always tie into the present situation so well that it just always works. Like, we had this, we had the flashback with Tom, the Fishman, and with Iceberg and Frankie. We had the flashback with Nami's childhood, with Bellamere. Oda does flashbacks really well. I'm just gonna talk for a bit, see where I go. But, so yeah. So this was the big Robin flashback. There's so much to unpack with this. Speaking of Nami, there's a lot of parallels between Nami and Bellamere and Robin and Olvia, the mother who is trying to protect the child because of her own sins. But it takes it in a little bit of a different direction, whereas Bellamere refused to deny Nami as her child in order to protect her. Olvia does the exact opposite, where she denies Robin in order to protect her. But in that instance, it kind of flies back in her face because Robin refuses it anyway. And so that was a nice little parallel there. Yeah, I'm trying to put my thoughts together on this. I'm a little overwhelmed. So yeah, this whole Ohara flashback, the Demons of Ohara, which as it turns out is a fucking government cover-up. Brilliant addition to this ongoing saga of secret government organizations are bad. The Ark. So as it turns out, the Ohara was just a bunch of archaeologists, a bunch of scholars who were just trying to learn stuff. But as with all government agencies, information is evil. Information is a weapon to people who fear that information. And we're starting to see more of the truth about the 100-year void pop up, where it's pretty much all but confirmed that the world government, the group that spawned 800 years ago, is the group that destroyed the ancient civilization that created the poneglyphs. So now we have this long-standing conspiracy, this multi-century conspiracy of people trying to stay in power by keeping the truth away, out of the hands of people who can uncover it. And we keep seeing this theme reinforced of how information and weapons and people are just neutral. They don't, just something merely existing is not a bad thing. It's what is done with that information that makes it good or bad. And I think we're starting to, like, even like that ties back in that even answers like my question as to why Frankie and Tom and all of them held on to the blueprints despite the fact that they knew if the government had it, it would be disastrous. Like, they don't want to destroy the blueprints simply because it's a neutral entity and they couldn't bring themselves to do it, but also because they needed it in case they needed it as a force for good, in case Robin was who the government portrayed her as and became this hostile entity. And once Frankie realizes that Robin is good, that she's not the monster that the government has and everyone else has portrayed her as for so long, he's able to let go of the blueprints and just burns them to a fucking crisp. Where is that panel? Because that's such a cool looking panel too. Just the shading, the shadow, just the splendor of it all is so fucking cool. Half of this is, the next minute is just gonna be me holding up awesome panels to the camera, because there is so much fucking amazing paneling going on. Near the end of Robin's flashback as she's fleeing from O'Hara, this absolutely fucking terrifying imagery of a fire, of Robin surrounded by ice, surrounded by fire. Just absolutely incredible. And just I love this part. I don't give a shit that this is a rambling review. I can't form coherent thoughts on this. But and then just following that up, as soon as Luffy understands everything and he understands what's happened to Robin and who the real enemy is, this absolutely goated line, Luffy, my fucking man, shoot down that flag. And Usopp is like, Roger. And it's just Luffy totally willing to take on the entire fucking world for his crewmate, for his friend. Followed up by Robin finally giving in and wanting to live for the first time, not knowing that that was even an option for her. I'm trying to find the right word for it. I am seeing a little bit of parallels to Eri in My Hero. Someone who's constantly told that she is a danger to everyone around her and that her mere existence is evil. And that the person manipulating her is the only person who can really use her for good. I wonder if Horikoshi was thinking of Robin when he wrote Eri. That would be an interesting tidbit if he was. Or, obviously, that's not a hard trope to write. It's a pretty common victim of abuse trope. But that is the parallel that I am drawing, especially since we have little mini Robin here. By the way, I woke up this morning and I looked at this. I'm like, I even posted it on Twitter. I'm like, good morning, Twitter. It appears I will be crying today. Because as soon as I see the younger version of a character on the cover, I'm like, okay, we're getting a flashback. Okay, I'm going to cry today. Because it always happens. What else? I guess we could talk about the scholars for a bit. Just this. Actually, I don't know if I have a whole lot to say about them, but yeah, they're just this. They are fully aware that they're doing something bad, even though they don't think it's bad. Like there's a very obvious distinction between what is right and what is the law in this volume, and this volume is 100% about portraying the contradiction when the law is not morally or ethically just. And man, if that's not relevant today, then I don't know what is. Oda, don't miss. But, gotta give some shout out to Saul, the big man. I like that he's, like, at first, our first impression of him is, he's like the other giants, but then immediately he's just like, no, I'm a little bit more sophisticated than that. He's even got a little hat to go with it. Saul, absolute king of a man, who, as it turns out, is a former vice admiral. We get that little bit of, someone who hasn't been totally brainwashed by the military and the world government. Someone who actually can think for himself, and when he sees something unjust, he actually starts to question his own behavior, his own orders. And the scenes of him just completely wrecking his former crewmates, the people he once served with. I don't know if they're the exact crewmates, but former cohorts in the military. Just him completely turning just to be the morally just former soldier, even though he gets fucking blasted to shit as he's trying to protect Robin. What a man. Oh, and even Aokichi shows up. Although, I guess he's known as Kuzan in this. I don't know if that's his first name or not, but we get a bit more of a morally gray Kuzan in this. And he's able to send Robin on her way. But of course, and then we get the shot of him immediately from regretting that, or at least that, is it regret or is he trying to keep it a secret? Who knows? We'll probably see if Aokichi shows up again later. He probably will. And of course we got the shot of this person who would become Akainu. His name's Sakazuki, it looks like. Just absolute scorch and burn policy. Leave no stone unfucked. Blow it all to hell. The complete opposite of Aokichi in that regard. There's so much information to go through in this volume. I'm losing track of everything. But going back to Saul, just Saul's last words of, where is it? I'm trying to find it again. No one is born in this world completely alone. Just that absolute message of absolute hope for Robin as he burns to death. And then we get the montage of Robin getting in all these shit situations where she just has to survive, eventually leading to her meetup with Crocodile. Man, it's so fucking good. Any details I missed? Olivia is really cool. I like her a lot. One Piece has a lot of badass moms. A whole lot of badass moms. Yeah, I think... And of course, we get the... Before all of that, right before the flashback starts, we get the iconic Enies Lobby shot. Which... So fucking cool. Like, just Luffy and crew say it to our face. Tell us what you really want. This was good. Oh, one last little thing. I like that once the flashback ended and all of this settled, all of this emotion settled, we immediately get one of the best payoffs in this, where the Chief Justice gets slashed and it turns out, oh, it's just three dudes in a trench coat, but like horizontal instead of vertical. So that was definitely one of the best joke payoffs in this. I really liked that. And it looks like this one's just going to continue being in insane One Piece as insane One Piece is, with the train crashing through the fucking building once again. I haven't felt this good since Arlong Park. This is just so fucking good. But I think that's all I have to say for now. If you're watching this and somehow you haven't seen One Piece, I don't know why you would be. But, tell your friends to stop sleeping on One Piece, because this is fucking amazing. It really is. I am blown away by this series. Just being able to combine the simple with the complicated, being able to take so many disparate ideas and layering them on top of each other into a cohesive statement about humanity, about weaponry, about existence, is good. But that's all for today. I expect a lot of action to finish out this volume. So, we'll see how it goes from here. If you liked this video, be sure to like and subscribe. Leave a comment about how much you love Enies Lobby in the comments below. I know a lot of people were very excited for me to finally get to this moment. So, congratulations, we're here. But in any case, my name is Ember, and I'll see you next time.